Hi again everyone! So ako ulit ay nagbabalik to discuss again another topic which is entitled the quadratic functions. So I hope na meron kayong matutunan and I hope mag-enjoy kayo sa panonood ng video na ito. So let's begin.
Quadratic function is one of the form f of x is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c, where a, b, and c are numbers with a not equal to 0. The graph of a quadratic function is a curve called a parabola. Parabolas may open upward or downward and vary in width or steepness, but they all have the same basic U shape. The picture below shows three graphs, and they are all parabolas. So if we're going to count all the parabolas, 1, 2, 3, there are exactly 3 parabolas. All parabolas are symmetric with respect to a line called the axis of symmetry. A parabola intersects its axis of symmetry at a point called the vertex of the parabola. Given 3 points in the plane that have different first coordinates and do not lie on a line, there is exactly one quadratic function f whose graph contains all 3 points. The applet below illustrates this fact. The graph contains 3 points and a parabola that goes through all 3. The corresponding function is shown in the text box below the graph. If you drag any of the points, then the function and parabola are updated. Many quadratic functions can be graphed easily by hand using the techniques of stretching or shrinking and shifting or translation the parabola. So y is equal to x squared. Example number 1. It is said to sketch the graph of y is equal to x squared over 2. Starting with the graph of y is equal to x squared, we shrink by a factor of 1/2. This means that for each point on the graph of y is equal to x squared, we draw a new point that is 1/2 of the way from the x-axis to that. So the graph below shows it. Next, example number 2. Sketch the graph of y is equal to x minus 4 squared. I'm sorry, I typed it wrong, but it is exactly x minus 4 squared minus 5. We start with a graph of y is equal to x squared. Shift 4 units right, then 5 units down. So the result is in below. So in standard form, the functions in parts A and B of exercise 1 are examples of quadratic functions in standard form. When a quadratic function is in standard form, then it is easy to sketch its graph by reflecting, shifting, and stretching or shrinking the parabola y is equal to x squared. The quadratic function f of x is equal to ax minus h squared plus k and not equal to 0 is said to be in standard form. If a is positive, the graph opens upward, and if a is negative, then it opens downward. So again, positive upward, negative downward. The line of symmetry is the vertical line. X is equal to h, and the vertex is the point h and k. Any quadratic function can be rewritten in standard form by completing the square. The steps that we use in this section for completing the square will look a little different because our chief goal here is not solving an equation. Note that when a quadratic function is in standard form, it is also easy to find its zeros by the square root principle. Now let's go to the next one, which is to alternate method of finding the vertex. In some cases, completing the square is not the easiest way to find the vertex of a parabola. If the graph of a quadratic function has two x-intercepts, then the line of symmetry is the vertical line through the midpoint of the x-intercepts. So it is graphed below. Then the x-intercepts of the graph above are at -5 and 3. The line of symmetry goes through -1, which is the average of -5 and 3. So -5 plus 3 over 2 is equal to -2 over 2 and is equal to 1. Once we know that the line of symmetry is x is equal to -1, then we know the first coordinate of the vertex is -1. The second coordinate of the vertex can be found by evaluating the function at x is equal to -1. So for example, find the vertex of the graph of f of x is equal to x plus 9 times x minus 5. Since the formula for f is factored, it is easy to find zeros, -9 and +5. The average of the zeros is -5 plus -9 plus 5 over 2 is equal to -4 over 2 and is equal to -2. So the line of symmetry is x is equal to -2, and the first coordinate of the vertex is -2. The second coordinate of the vertex is f of -2 is equal to -2 plus 9 times -2 minus 5 is equal to 7 times -7 is equal to -49. Therefore, the vertex of the graph of f is -2 and 49. Applications. Example. A rancher has 600 meters of fence to enclose a rectangular corral with another fence dividing it in the middle as in the diagram below. So just look at the diagram. As indicated in the diagram, the 4 horizontal sections of fence will each be x meters long and the 3 vertical sections will each be y meters long. The rancher's goal is to use all the fence and enclose the largest possible area. The 2 rectangles each have area xy, so we have total area A is equal to 2xy. There is not much we can do with the quantity A while it is expressed as a product of 2 variables. However, the fact that we have only 1,200 meters of fence available leads to an equation that x and y must satisfy. Then we get 3y plus 4x is equal to 1,200. 3y is equal to 1,200. Then from positive it becomes negative 4x. Then y is equal to 400 minus 4x over 3. We now have y expressed as a function of x, and we can substitute this expression for y in the formula for total area A. So A is equal to 2xy and equal to 2x times 400 minus 4x over 3. We need to find the value of x that makes the area as large as possible. A is a quadratic function of x, and the graph opens downward, so the highest point on the graph of A is the vertex. Since A is factored, the easiest way to find the vertex is to find the x intercepts and average. So you have 2x times 400 minus 4x over 3 is equal to 0. 2x is equal to 0, or 400 minus 4x over 3 is equal to 0. Then it became x is equal to 0, or 400 minus 4x over 3. And then x is equal to 0, or 1,200 is equal to 4x. Then x is equal to 0, or 300 and is equal to x. Therefore, the line of symmetry of the graph of A is x is equal to 150. The average of 0 and 300, now that we know the value of x corresponding to the largest area, we can find the value of y by going back to the equation relating x and y. So y is equal to 400 minus 4x over 3 is equal to 400 minus 4 times 150 over 3 and is equal to 200. And that would be all. Thank you so much for listening.